This is Grow CX. I'm Scott Gilby. Journey maps and other forms of alignment diagrams are foundational to customer experience. There are plenty of benefits in mapping. Here are just a few, aligned somewhat casually to each of the 6 customer experience competencies. First, they provide a common and consistent picture. Whatever the culture of your organization, journey maps focus discussions on the obvious because they are very visual. They work independently of silos, and they visualize things from the customer's point of view, revealing opportunities for improvements, and they are irrefutable once they are flushed out and crystallized. Let's create a journey map from scratch. It's as simple as this. You can do this on a piece of paper or on a large wall. There is a beginning somewhere, and eventually everything comes to an end. And the journey is never linear. We'll go different places, do different things, follow some path that is somewhat unpredictable, a little circle around. You'll occasionally have little offshoots going different directions, and eventually we'll come to the end of our journey. This is the sketch we just did on paper, now digitized so we can work with it and flesh out the customer journey. First thing that happens is the customer will find us. Then they'll buy. They need to be onboarded. It has to be easy for the customer to pay. Then the customer uses the thing they purchased. They may need some help. Happy customers, as we've said before, buy again. Sometimes they subscribe. When they are not happy, they leave. If we're lucky, they will complain before they leave, so we have a chance to do something about it. Sometimes businesses close for a variety of reasons beyond our control. As we continue to sketch out the map, we start to see a picture, a macro picture of all interactions over time. When you work in groups or workshops, people will say, hey, that's too simple, it's not complete. And the answer is, of course, yes, it's too simple, and yes, it's not complete. So we start filling in some details. For example, the buying decision before a customer buys. We have a recovery program for customers whom we have lost. And we always want to be proactive, asking the customer if they're happy, if they're satisfied with the thing they bought. Is the job to be done, done? Anywhere along this journey, there are occasions and inflection points at which we can add events and speak to the customer and map. There are formally recognized moments of truth. The first one being the 0 moment of truth, which is, before the customer even finds you, which nouns are they typing into the keyboard as they search for a solution to their problem? The first moment of truth is when the customer finds you. They have not bought anything yet. Their first impression is critically important. And then the second moment of truth is when the customer sees or uses your product for the very first time. Ultimately, the customer will say something, good or bad. That is the ultimate moment of truth. Now we have the makings of a complete customer journey. We'll push it off to the side here and look at 3 aspects or dimensions of the total journey. The macro view is this whole thing, sometimes called the helicopter view. It's a mile wide and an inch deep. A large business, no matter how complex, could have tens of these to describe the total business, depending on the dynamics and context. Next is what I would call segments. A buying journey is a distinct piece of the journey. In my view, the finding journey is separate from the buying journey. We typically see these things blurred together. Putting too much into a single map can confuse our ability to drill into the practical detail. It's better really to simply do 2 maps and connect them. I strongly suggest you look at the buy again journey separate and distinct from the buy first time journey. The experience of the customer cannot be the same the second time around. Be creative with personas, situations, events, etc. The micro journey is what happens in a moment or handful of moments. We use these to document pain points or reveal unmet needs and drill into specific action steps. A company that gets disciplined and rigorous might have thousands of such microjourneys accumulated over time. Ideally, they become embedded in SOPs or standard operating procedures. In the world of customer experience, we mostly talk about customer journey mapping. You can see here that, strictly speaking, a customer journey map is one of several types of alignment diagrams. I happen to like the service blueprint model because it's highly applicable very quickly. It takes you from theory to real and practical problem solving. With a well-coached workshop, I've seen experienced, skeptical business people suddenly become very animated customer advocates. The next video segment picks up from here. I address 3 specific examples of putting the blueprint model into practice. Thank you for watching. I can be found at growcx.com or LinkedIn.